Hi guys, this is Robin with Weight Loss Apocalypse. This is the beginning of a session I have that I had with a client a few days ago, and we started working together early this year, January, February 2017. Anyways, she was a serial HCG diet abuser, kind of like a HCG bulimic, and she had gotten to a terrible, terrible place. She lost a lot of weight on the protocol and kind of threw her into a spiral of binge eating and then purging with the protocol and then binge eating and purging. And she came to me after about a 3-month binging. And the intention was that I could potentially help her recover so that she could do the protocol and then get back to the weight she needed to be to feel good about herself. So that's what a lot of people do when they come to me, thinking that, well, she's like totally supports the protocol, and so maybe we can work on this and lose the weight, and then I can keep it off easily without being crazy. So come to find out when she's working with me that it's a lot harder than that. And so we actually got her pretty far in the process of recovery before she started to really believe, now I think I've got my shit together. I'm going to lose some weight on the protocol. And she knew inherently, she kind of knew intuitively that I probably would be aware she wasn't ready for it, but she didn't want me to stop her. It's kind of like the person who goes to rehab, thinks that they're recovered, and then wants to go back out and abuse their drug again. They don't want people to stop them, and they think they know what they're doing. And so anyway, so she came back to me. This is our first session after a long time, kind of like crawling back on her hands and knees going, you were right. And so this is a part of our conversation around kind of the protocol and where she was. And now she's in a different place of seeing it and realizes we have more work to do. And I'm really excited to work with her to go deeper into what's underneath it all. The stuff that she may not have really been ready to face earlier this year, but she now is ready. So this session, the full session with her, is in the private Patreon account. If you would like to support me and Weight Loss Apocalypse in my upcoming books, this is a donation site and it's perpetual. So every month it's like a 5-month membership. So you can see this session in there. It's in there now. If you would like to work with me, if you are suffering and you're struggling to get out and you feel hopeless, I would love to help you. So if the link to Patreon is below, the link to my website is below. If you'd like to work with me, fill in the consult request form, send it in. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right. So enjoy this session. I hope it helps.
All I could think about, even though all of this made sense and I was happier, and I was like, I'm ready. And I had some health things with my skin, and then, the diabetes scare and the high blood pressure, and you talked me down off that cliff, and then, everything was kind of like normalized, and I was feeling really good, and my eating to hunger was really good. And then what I felt like was I didn't want to tell you that I wanted to do a round and test it because I was afraid that you were going to tell me all the reasons why I was going to fail, and I wanted to do it on my own. And I didn't mean it like I don't mean it for you to be like in a hurtful way, but more from a clinical way of all your past experiences and maybe my stubbornness. That no, I want to see where I'm at all on my own to see how I did. And so, I didn't start it right away. In fact, I waited.
That's where we left off. I'm pretty sure that was our last conversation that we had.
Yeah, well, you and I never talked about that. I didn't even bring this up with you because I didn't want to hear any. I wanted to do this all on my own, honestly. And so then I bought your book, The Weight Loss Apocalypse. It came in the mail, and then I got like your HCG, like your little like the booklet that you write.
Mm-hmm.
You write.
Yeah, my little workbook.
Yeah. And so then I did everything like just based on that, and I really was like, God, this is so. For me, what I loved about that was that it really taught me about eating to hunger, and then with the HCG not having the hunger there, it just allowed, that process to kind of hold on a second. Probably an hour. Okay, stop it. So then, there was never anytime I felt fearful, I would go into those feelings of fear, or like I would have those moments where those dipping moments in my stomach where I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna flip, I'm gonna mess up, or something like that, and then I'd sit in it and go, okay, what are you afraid of? What is it you're afraid of? You know what? No, you've totally got this. Everything's okay. Just be in the fear. Be in that room. Be in that room where there's no way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt really good. And then I was petrified coming out of the low calorie diet because of the history that I've had before. And I did wonderfully with that. And I actually did it for 8 or 9 weeks, and not introducing any of the sugars or the breads, because those used to be taboo for me. And so now I've been completely just, eating whatever I want when I want, and all of that. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm maintaining my weight. I didn't check. I didn't check, but I became very active again. Not like exercising or going to Bikram every day or any of that, but just enjoying the mountains of California and hiking with my kids, with music, and it was a different thing for me. It wasn't about fitness or calorie counts or anything like that. It was just about pure nature. I caught myself smiling all the time, like just totally, in the morning getting up and seeing like nature, and because we don't have that here in Florida, it's so hot and gross. You have to if you want to exercise, you got to do it on the treadmill, or but you can't really be in nature unless you're at the beach or something. So all that was going, really well, and we went through the hurricane and went through putting my mom in a nursing home, and a lot of drama with my sister that we will talk about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I, started to get, back into, okay, you could just, you go back to eating to hunger and all of that, I was completely fine. And I've been fine in terms of, feeling stable with all of that and not thinking about it. But then I decided, because I thought, okay, well, you're cured. So, let's try another round. Day 3, I'm flipping out.
Okay,
and I can't tell you why.
I could tell you, but the fact that what you're not looking at is, why would you do another round? What's the point of another round?
I guess just to see if I was, completely cured.
Be honest with yourself. What's the point of a round of HCG?
Yeah, I guess I just had anticipated that if, if we had talked. Well, I mean, I knew I was going to lose weight.
Oh,
but
that's the part. You're going to have to go deeply into your own honesty why you want to do it. So that tells me a lot, right? When someone does it for weight loss, you will relapse, and it's usually very quickly. So in your mind, you're still holding on to the body image stuff. I have to tell you, the last time we talked, I knew that. I knew it, but you know what? To me, that's not a bad thing. It's a process of awareness. Yeah. I'm aware over here, right?
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything until it has meaning. Like when I give you direction, it's from this awareness. So I might be able to talk to someone and have total discernment around what they're doing, but if they're not aware and they don't have the will to change it, nothing I say is going to do any good. So all I can do is be encouraging. Okay, do another round. I'm not going to sit here and I could say, well, if the context for why you're doing the round is for this reason, this is what we would expect on the back end. And no matter where you're at and what you think or what you want to prove to yourself, the truth will always come forward. The problem lies in you holding yourself to some outcome that isn't even real. So often it's, I'm healed, I'm cured. I want to go back into losing weight, and you didn't even see that, right? So you're holding yourself to this high level
I
of.
guess I saw it.
So you're holding yourself to a high level of awareness without the awareness yet. There's nothing wrong with that.
That was the plan. That was like I had all the boxes checked.
Yes.
Part of that plan.
I'm so aware. I think I should lose some weight. Do you hear the two conflicting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and I
So what you're not acknowledging is the context for why you believe you should be losing weight and where.
I'll be better.
Yeah, so you're coming from a state of not good enough. You're still coming from a state of this isn't right.
Yeah.
It's that negative state. You're still coming from a state of duality. It's either this or that. I want that, not this. And you don't see it because in your mind, it's the right thing to do versus the wrong thing to do. So it's that you're still in that state. And it's not with everything. It could be, like I said before we started recording, it's like in certain areas. So in other places, you're free, it's easy, you're more relaxed. It isn't dualistic. It's, I can adapt to all of it. It doesn't have to be this or that because anything in between I can handle. So you're not living in that state of divisiveness. But in terms of like your body image, it certainly is a threat to you. And you might be distracted by the idea that there's the food issue distraction. So in your mind, you're like, oh, I feel good with food. I am here nor there with it. It's so easy. There's no impulsivity, but you're not realizing or you're not aware yet that the only reason you have that freedom is because you aren't in effect currently trying to change the body. But the moment you go in.
And the minute that I did that again.
Correct.
I mean, it was like I did fine on the loading days, of course. And then the first day, I was like picking at stuff. And I'm like, where did that come from? And then I started looking at it. And then, like I thought, oh, you know what? I'll just load one more day. And then start tomorrow. And then when I said that, I'm like, oh my fucking, like I went to bed like freaking out for the first time in like 4 months. Like that, none of that was going on for me. Yeah,
well, and you had to have been in a state of pause, you know. Like I said, a lot of people push pause.
I get my coffee and I went, you know what? I'm not fucking doing this. So I don't have to do this. I'm perfectly fine, perfectly happy the way I am.
Yeah, content.
Why did I ever jump into bed with the devil again? Like it was so clear to me. And you remember when I was trying on the clothes and I was crying in the dressing room, and that was like the moment where I had to get out of, I had to like be in the room by myself.
Yeah, it was a big breakthrough for you. That was big.
I was like right there in that moment, and I went, it's like an alcoholic or a heroin addict or somebody just saying no. Or like you're saying the other day, you were talking about that guy who was a rich guy and he was hot, but he treated her like shit. And you remember it was like, I think it was just your last session online, and the guy comes back, he's like, here's the ring, and you're like, no fucking way, I'm moving on.
Oh yes, exactly.
I'm over here. It's the same thing. It was like the light bulb went off, I threw that shit away, and I'm like immediately completely felt, I don't know, 200% better.
Yeah, and it's a real physical reaction too. You physically feel immediately physically feel different, emotionally feel different. Well, it has to do with you wanted the riches, right? So there is still the allure, right, of the riches, and that the riches have something you don't have. So there has to be, for there to be an allure, you have to feel and believe that you are lacking. I have a lack. I am in the negative. There is something wrong. So you have to be in a state of like insecurity to want to pursue with that type of energy backing it. Okay, because there are a lot of people who pursue riches or pursue something that's above and beyond the norm, but they're not pursuing it out of lack. It might just be, oh, I really